Our research project UPCiDe addresses the role of compromise in democracies. On the one hand, we look at different objections to compromise and evaluate these from a normative perspective. On the other hand, we also address objections to compromise from a feasibility perspective. To use a feasibility perspective means to look at the conditions that make it more or less likely that a compromise can be found. We propose that compromises are particularly difficult to realize when it comes to moral questions, such as abortion or other political issues that have a moral dimension, such as climate policies. From a democratic perspective, it is crucial that such disagreements are resolved without recourse to violence and instead through democratic means, such as compromises. Now, to understand why moral compromises are difficult to realize, we must turn to the emotions. We can certainly imagine that some emotions can make us reluctant to compromise with other persons. Such emotions can include, for example, anger or even hatred that we experience for another person or for their moral points of view. But we propose that the emotions can also play a more intricate role in this context. We subsume this role under the term affective aversion. Affective aversion designates an emotional state that opposes us to compromise on moral issues. More concretely, we propose that when our moral values are disputed in the process of compromising, we experience both an affective endorsement of our own values and an affective rejection of opposing values. Taken together, these emotions can lead to the state of affective aversion. And because we tend to experience affective aversion when it comes to moral issues, it may not always be feasible to compromise with those who endorse an opposing moral point of view. However, this conclusion does not necessarily mean that moral compromises are always doomed to fail. It rather means that we cannot simply assume that moral compromise will be feasible. Instead, we must look for appropriate remedies. While our research is far from having considered all possible remedies, we start by proposing the following solution. To increase the feasibility of moral compromise, we need an effective counterbalance to affective aversion. We further propose that recognition respect, that is, respect for each other as persons, can constitute such a counterbalance and can thus increase the feasibility of moral compromise. The questions of how exactly we can foster recognition respect even in the midst of disagreement and which other counter-emotions may be fruitful in this context remain subjects for future research. You can read in more detail about this research in the publications linked below. We will also update our research regularly on this channel. And please feel free to visit our project website as well for further updates and news.